Valera versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
Watch your back.
Huckster into Raptor is really good if it works, but I have 1-drops that I'd prefer. I'd rather have Backstab. On the coin, I'd rather have SI7 Agent. Might even rather have Van Cleef. I think I will toss the Raptor. It's a pretty good backstab target, but let's go ahead and start with the Swashbuckler. Siphon Soul's probably going to be a little bit too slow for this matchup, but maybe I can use it on a Doom Guard later. Pretty good if he's playing Sea Giant. I can coin SI7 Agent here, but it's not super good. I guess I get to clear his board. That's always good against Zoo. What's he likely to be doing next turn? Imp Gang Boss. SI7 Agent's not super good against Imp Gang Boss. Maybe I just drop... No, I want mana for Argus. Might just sap Imp Gang Boss if he plays it next turn, honestly. Maybe I just play Huckster here. Maybe I just Dagger here. I think I kind of like just clearing with SI7 Agent, though. Yeah, I think I just sap it. The deck doesn't have great sap targets, and I don't have a good way to clear it at all. And if he just drops it down this turn, then maybe I can use Argus on my SI7 Agent for a somewhat efficient clear. I can clear the Imp Gang Boss if I Cold Blood my SI7 Agent, run it in, and then play my other SI7 Agent on the Imp. Leaves me with a 3-3 and a 5-1. It's not that easy for Zoo to just deal 1 damage from the hand. It needs to be Mortal Coil, which I think most lists don't play. That also leaves me with 2 minions on board for Argus next turn. Or I can just Dagger Huckster. And since I know he doesn't have... Like, he didn't have a 1-drop this turn, he played played Possessed Villager on turn 2 without a second 1-drop. So it seems like his hand is kinda clunky. So just keeping minions off his board so he doesn't have, you know, Argus or Abusive Sergeant or Dark Iron Dwarf or Power Overwhelming targets. I think there's a lot of value in that. Oh, just ripped the Mortal Coil. But to be fair, I ripped the backstab, so...
Hey, lights out. Hey, you wanna buy a...
I'm just gonna hit with the weapon here. Even if I don't have the mana to remake the dagger next turn, I just use the charge next turn, and then the turn after I have the mana for it, probably. That guy's pretty big. Maybe this is my Siphon Soul target. I can also just Argus the SI7 Agent and trade it in. Or just Argus and go face. How much is that? 7, 8 with Dagger. He trades into the Huckster. My Dagger can clean up. But I think I like just Siphon Souling this guy. It's probably the best chance I'll have to use the Siphon Soul. And since all he did on 6 was tap and Dark Iron Dwarf, Siphon Souling for 6 isn't the worst tempo play in the world. And it's not that easy for him to clear my board, so I should have Argus targets this turn as well. So I've been clearing pretty aggressively, but now that I can't clear enough stuff to deny like Defender of Argus or Power Overwhelming, I think it's time to just start hitting him in the face. If I go Dagger Argus here, I push 8, sets him to 7. He has, what, 7 damage on board, my 2 taunts will have 5 health. The Argus puts it up to 8. Pretty good chance that next turn I can go Twilight Summoner plus Argus. I think it's time to start going face.
My shield for Argus. Hey,
because like I can take trades with my taunts, but he's just gonna send his tentacles into him anyway, so there's not really much reason to do that. He only needs 5 to get through my taunts, so daggering into 1 doesn't really make that much difference either. I have to keep in mind that this deck, compared to the last tempo rogue I was playing, this deck doesn't really have any charge damage. So I definitely need to be more wary of how much burst potential I actually have. I'm really far ahead on life, but he's obviously really far ahead on cards. He can't really tap anymore though. Pretty sure he played that in the wrong order. He floated 2 mana, so I think there's a way he could have played the Councilman. Maybe like before the Sea Giant. I don't know, I didn't do the math, so I can't really criticize his play. So he has, what, 14 on board. Probably have to assume that the Councilman gets buffed by at least 2, but that's not close to lethal. Maybe I just play out a bunch of dudes here, hit him in the face with the dagger. If I play out Twilight Summoner, Imp Gang Boss, Runic Egg, I can probably assume that I'll have something to hit with Argus next turn. I think I like just playing out the dudes.
This document.
Here we go. Here we go.
I think I like pushing the face damage here. It means if he taps, he's dead to Eviscerate.
That was a mistake.
Why was that a mistake?
We're almost out of time.
Wonder if he's gonna kill the Twilight Summoner here. Wow, really? It does deny me Argus value, but he's just putting himself on an Eviscerate clock. He has 2, 10, 14, 19 damage. I think it's pretty hard for him to kill me next turn. Not that it really matters, I have to play Azure Drake here. Does it make sense to play Argus over the Huckster? Probably not. I might need the card from Huckster to pick up lethal.
You want to buy a...
So I have 15 cards in the deck. I have 2 draws next turn, counting the Azure Drake. 2 Eviscerates left. So pretty good chance I draw into it, but he's probably favored from this point. I also have lethal if I just get Hellfire from Huckster. Wonder if I'm dead. Kinda seems like I'm dead. I mean, it seems kinda hard to die. Theo Doomguard enough? I guess it is. Theo Leroy.
Valera versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
Watch your back.
Playing SI7 Agent is definitely pretty good. I'd like to have one of my mini 1-mana cards for turn 1. Otherwise, Unearthed Raptor is a pretty good keep, but I think I really want 1-drops. And I might even want a more flexible 2-drop than the SI7. And is super good if the opponent is Zoo. Which at rank 2 on the last day of the season, I would imagine he's playing Zoo.
Buying or selling.
Actually, I have a few options here. I can just coin SI7, probably the most straightforward play. I could also Huckster Backstab, planning to like coin 1-drop SI7 Agent next turn. I mean, it probably just makes the most sense to just drop the SI7 agent here, right? I guess I could backstab Squire Coldblood, but I'm not really in a position to start just pushing face with Coldblood right now. Doesn't really make too much sense. I'll just go for the least flashy, most straightforward play. I think the play here is probably Huckster, Coldblood the Egg, then trade into his board. Gives me a nice solid clean kill on the Imp. Get to draw a card, get to keep developing my board.
You want to buy a funnel cake? Hey, lights out.
No reason to use the backstab there, it's just a 1-1. My 3-3 cleans it up quite nicely. Well, Squire Eviscerate is pretty sick here. I guess there's also some option to go backstab and send in the Huckster, looking to pick up a play. But I think just Squire Eviscerate's too good here. Gives me the biggest board, lets me push some damage. The Huckster is one of my better Shadowcaster targets on board right now, so keeping that alive until next turn has quite a bit of value. And also this just spends my mana super well. Sometimes I trade in the Huckster and I don't get anything to spend my mana on. I can backstab SI the Imp. I guess I trade Huckster into the Direwolf at that point, and then Dagger and Squire kill off Imps. Seems fairly clean. What if I just play Shadowcaster here? I would copy... I guess with this hand I'd probably copy the SI7 agent, and then I would send SI and Squire into the Imp, backstab the Wolf, other Squire, plus Huckster into the small Imps. I think backstab SI is just a little bit too clean here, even though the Shadowcaster does spend my mana a little bit more efficiently.
This guy's toast. Hey, lights out.
That's not a valid target.
Once again, I'm just clearing his board and putting as much stuff on the board for me as possible. Also, if I save Shadowcaster for this turn, I can go Shadowcaster, copy an SI, and then play the SI for 1 mana this turn. Whereas the Battlecry of the Shadowcaster last turn didn't really give me any immediate advantage.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
Someone call
Why would you play Mortal Coil last there? Play it at the beginning of your turn, maybe you draw a better card. I don't really understand what just happened. Seemed like a really terrible turn by the opponent. So I like Shadowcaster on the SI. Am I greedy enough to hold the 1 mana SI7 agent for next turn, just to give my Van Cleef +2/+2? Maybe I just play Van Cleef as a 4/4 here. It's gotta be worse than Shadowcaster though. If I Shadowcaster the SI, I can clear his board without needing to play the second SI7 agent.
The shadows beckon.
Sure, let's go greedy and make a big SI next turn. Or a big Edwin next turn by holding the SI. Not like Zoo has a shortage of targets for the SI7 agent combo. So missing out on a 2-1 here is, I mean, I'll find something to hit this turn. Get the 1-4 dream.
Who dares summon me?
Well, that's not good for me. But I can still clear here.
Hey, lights out. This guy's toast.
Here we go.
Clear his board, drop a 6/6 and a couple garbage minions. Pretty good. Hopefully I pick up a Death Rattle for my Unearthed Raptor next turn.
The light protects me.
Get it out! Get it out!
Those minions are pretty annoying.
You win this time. Valera versus Thrall. For Doomhammer.
Watch your back.
Guess I don't keep Swashbuckler with this hand. Argent Squire is just better on turn 1. Obviously Huckster's better on turn 2. Backstab is a really nice pickup.
Protects me.
Wow, he whiffed. The dream. Maybe he's not playing Aggro Shaman. Definitely hard to imagine someone at rank 1 is not playing Aggro Shaman on the last day of ladder. Well, that might be fun. Looks like I should have the mana to hero power in the next couple turns. I'll just go ahead and get in my 1 damage. Okay, it's a control shaman. Twilight Summoner. Well, this card is really good against all his AoE. So I guess I play it.
This document.
And I probably want to be playing Azure Drake next turn, so I guess I hold the dagger. Dagger probably isn't very good against this deck, though. I mean, there aren't going to be small minions to trade into. Wow, just hexing it. Oh, he ended his turn before realizing he got a charger. Well, sucks to be him. So I can go Azure Drake here, or I can get value out of my Unearthed Raptor while I have the chance. Unearthed Raptor also lets me get a new dagger. Probably worth it.
Here we go. I fight.
Azure Drake is actually the stronger play this turn, but this Huckster is my last Death Rattle that I'm holding currently. I don't want the Raptor to get stranded in my hand. And the difference between a 3-4 and a 4-4 is not super big. Plus holding the Azure Drake means maybe I can Azure Drake backstab something for a relevant amount of damage. Well, I have Dagger for the Pit Snake. Maybe this is a good spot to play Mistcaller. Dagger the Pit Snake, Mistcaller, backstab Raptor into the 4-4. I can also Azure Drake backstab the 4-4, send the dagger in, but then I have to send my Raptor into his Pit Snake. It's obviously not very appealing. I think this is the Mistcaller turn. So let's start with backstab and then see what we get off this Huckster Death Rattle. Evolve is actually really good on the Mistcaller. Interesting that he totemed before playing that. Maybe that implies that he has like a lightning bolt in his hand that he would have played there given a chance. So Azure Drake is a 5-5, this guy's a 2-2. I want to evolve this guy, it just seems so good to evolve him. I obviously don't want to evolve this guy. Or do I? Get a 5-5? Probably not worth it. Do I want to evolve the Azure Drake? I think I like having the Azure Drake around. So I guess I'm just evolving this guy. I could damage this guy before evolving him to get a little bit of value, but I think I really want to push the 4 damage here. Alright, give my guy +2/+2.
Too soon. Here we go. Too soon.
And I got to force out the Hex. Very good for me. So with Sap, Abusive, Dagger, Eviscerate, I'm, what, like 3 damage off lethal? Oh wait, that's not a taunt totem, I don't have to sap it. But with Abusive Dagger, Eviscerate, I'm 3 damage off. Probably don't really care to clear a healing totem. Doesn't really, like, do anything. I guess I just play out my Death Rattle dudes
You want to buy
This document
and hit him in the face.
Here we go.
My board is fairly resilient to his AoE right now. My board is pretty resilient to his AoE right now. Azure Drake is just hard to kill. Well, it looks like he's gonna feel bad when that gets sapped. Poor guy. Never legend.